Today we're going to talk about mindfulness and the different stages of your addiction recovery. That's all to talk about today. Specifically, how to use mindfulness in the early stage through the middle stage of what we call, and over here at Elevated Recovery, we call it your reboots and not recovery. But here's what happens in those early stages. So in the early stages, you are often triggered on a daily basis, right? So your partner could say something and it throws you off. A stranger could say something and that triggers you. It's very easy for your buttons to be pushed and for you to become angry or annoyed, right? And the thing about being in a bad mood when you're triggered is that you become less effective as a professional, right? So without mindfulness, we have a tendency to react emotionally instead of rationally and with intentionality. So when you start with mindfulness, what happens is you become so much calm and you're not so reactive or distracted. You become more attentive to feelings. You become more aware of potential consequences of your actions instead of just pulling the trigger to things, right? Being triggered. So basically, you're able to regulate your behaviors in more positive ways. And with mindfulness, especially in that early stage, we gain awareness of one very important thing. And that is that your suffering is more related to your emotional reactions. That's what actually triggered that. But we often think that it is something external that is causing our suffering, that it is a person, an environment, a situation. But with mindfulness, you realize that, it's just how we've been conditioned to react that basically leads to suffering. So to move from what we call the early stage to the middle stage of our reboot, we have to mindfully acknowledge our emotions and we have to take responsibility for our reactions. As we do that, we begin to recognize that we have more options to choose from and that a lot of the responses are within our control. And thus we're able to control our compulsive behaviors a little bit.